Yes, man. The disappointment from Saturday night can't linger. It's got to move on. We know our past four opponents, have a combined record of 25-3, and are really, really good football teams. Which, when you look at how close we are to winning each of those games, it gives me great hope. And I think that's what you hold on to in times like these, is the fact that you're really, really close. And truthfully, as a coach, you can't, I don't know that there's a lot you can do about a drop pass here and there that makes a difference, or missed field goals that make a huge difference in these games. Keep encouraging and believing in those guys to make the next catch, the next throw, But there are a lot of things you can do to fix things that are hurting us in critical moments, and that's something that I know that I can do, and I know we can do as coaches, and we must demand it of ourselves, that the details that are hurting us in critical moments, that whether it's the depth of a route or a blocking technique against a different front, we have to fix those, and I know that we can. And that, I believe, is the secret to getting us over the hump in these games. Obviously, we've got to make the plays when they come our way that are there, and I think that game's totally different if we do. But even at that, our defense played with incredible passion. Our offense played with really good effort. We just are not consistent enough over and over again at this time, and that's why we're sitting here, feeling like we are about a team that's played 4 top 15 teams right down to the wire, and excited to get us better this week as we travel to Fayetteville.
You guys are going back and looking at that. Any changes, personnel changes, obviously quarterback, anywhere else that you may take a look at some different things this week?
Yeah, we're looking at everything. Unfortunately, the first change is at center. I know it's been announced. Many of you already have heard Connor Lew tore his ACL. It's one of the toughest things about coaching is watching kids go through the way they prepare and work all year long for these 12 opportunities in regular season play. And he's an incredible leader too, and a incredible smart guy that we obviously missed some in the second half, particularly and Cale battled his tail off, and Cale's going to be a really, really good player. But there's nothing like experience of having to get up there and reset a protection based on a look, or and then having to do that and snap the ball with great accuracy so that the timing of plays is good. So that's the first change that's got to be made, and we certainly hate that for Connor. But he's a great kid, and he'll be back and be better than ever for next season. And but he's losing him does hurt for sure. We'll try, we'll get Cale ready, of course. We'll also move Mason in there some to get some reps, too tall, out at tackle. So try that combination some also. So we'll see how that goes. We did that some in practice today. Mason's very smart. Played a little bit of center, not a lot, but kind of understands. He's used to hearing all the calls that we need to make, and particularly being on the road. Going to see how he functions in there this week when we go good on good for sure, and also Cale. And then Dylan Sunda will be ready to go also. You have to start looking when you, as well as Jackson played in the first half of the last 2 games, you have to start looking at everything of, all right, why do we not have the winning ways? And sitting here feeling like we do, and so we're gonna get he and Ashton a lot of reps and kind of see where it goes from there.
I guess today you've had some programs like Florida State and Wisconsin where their ADs have come out and talked about supporting their current head coaches. I guess, first of all, have you talked to John Cohen since Saturday night about the state of the program, what he thinks? And then I guess second question would be, what would a statement of support mean or not mean? Like, do you need that at all?
Well, that would be huge. That'd make everyone feel a lot better for sure. Yeah, I haven't talked to John. I'm gonna say John has been so supportive ever since obviously my hire, and but I don't get too much into they have a job to do, and certainly he has people he has to answer to, and I know how close we are. I know I can get this fixed, and we're too dang close. And we've got to get a little bit better play and a little bit better coaching at a few spots. And I want a chance to fix this. And obviously, I've totally gotten off of all social media, so I'm not sure what exactly was said in those other cases, but that's got to be reassuring to those people in there that they believe that they can get it fixed. But again, I've trusted John since I've been here to do the right things, and he's got to do what he feels is best for this program, of course. And I think it's us. I think we fit Auburn. I think we fit the Auburn culture. I think the culture in the building has changed. I think the talent level has changed, and unfortunately, we just hadn't gotten over the hump in a very difficult stretch of games. But I believe that's coming very, very soon.
What did you guys see from Perry the last couple
Yeah.
of weeks?
Couldn't be more proud of him, man. I called his uncle just to. The guy, truthfully, when he got here, if I'm being just had no idea how to practice, and to see him, the talent was there, but he didn't know. He knew how to run a go route. He didn't know how to take a release off of anything, or what different coverages looked like, and he wasn't the only one. Malcolm was that way too. Cam, to a certain extent, Cam was more prepared, but man, to see him starting to enjoy playing the game and having success, that's really what coaching's about, is developing those guys. And you got to give Marcus and Coach Harris and Heath, those guys that work with them on every single day. But really good to see him. And nobody was more bothered on the sideline than him after he dropped that, I think, the second possession or third possession. And I love to see that. And he's just getting better and better every single day. And I have to remind myself, we're playing these top teams very tough, but we're still fairly young at some spots, and he's still a young kid. But really, really excited to see his development.
Go Adam for JG and Peter.
Hugh, I know you said after the game, Alex's night was uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
Just watching it back, talking to him, just kind of where's he at, and where's your confidence level in him, and just kind of.
Yeah, I believe in Alex McPherson. He believes in himself. I mean, that's the first time he's missed any kicks inside the 40-yard line in his career, and he missed 2, and that's just so uncharacteristic of him. And he kicked beautifully all week long, and he's mentally strong. He's been through a lot, and certainly feels the weight of the loss for everybody, feeling like, man, if I could just make one of those, maybe the game's different. But man, nobody in here doubts him or has any less belief that he's going to make the next one.
Hugh, what do you think the biggest things about your offense are that are fixable?
Yeah.
Moving forward?
Man, the details. We've got to be harder. We've got to coach harder, demand more of ourselves and on the kids. It's no longer, the answer can't be, I don't know why he, ran it right the first quarter and he didn't the third quarter. That's no longer acceptable, nor is, you run inside zone and, in overtime that we've been averaging, 6 yards on a carry, and we get beat inside at a tackle position. That just, the footwork for that, you don't get beat inside on that play. Let him beat you outside, that's fine. But and whether it's the ball's got to come out to your second progression. It's got to come out, and it's there. So turn it loose. And so we've got to demand more. Our coaches are very clear on how I feel right now about that, and hopefully we lessen maybe what we're carrying, and there's zero room for excuses.
Hey, I think you talked about Tiger Talk last week, that your intention was to have Ashton Richard this year. If you want to make a change at quarterback, doesn't that kind of limit your stuff to go to do so?
Not anymore. We just we're gonna play to win with them, and he's prepared to play the last few, and then if you go watch the game and you're watching it live, it's really hard to complain about Jackson in the first half of the last two games for sure. I mean he that game could have easily been 14-0 after the second drive, and Jackson was playing at a high level. And we've got to get that consistency throughout the game, or we've got to go find a spark.
Going back to Kale, obviously pretty rare to see a freshman center, and especially a young freshman center in the SEC.
Yeah.
What about him? I mean,
Who should still be in high school.
Correct. I mean, what about him makes you trust him going into this stage?
He's a mature kid for his age, but it's really his toughness and preparation. He will spend time up here hours with Connor Lew, getting himself ready as he has been, and he has a high football IQ, and is going to make some mistakes. Got to make sure his snaps are a little toned down. They were a little high and hard at times. On a goal line play, it kind of throws off your timing. We had one critical third down. I wish I had that call over again. But it certainly is not very good if the timing is off to get it to the running back headed downhill right now. And but again, it's his first go around in an SEC game, and honestly, he graded out pretty well. There's a few pass protection issues, but that's to be expected, and hopefully we can get all of those cleaned up with the time he has to prepare this week. But he's going to be an outstanding player. You hate to have to throw him out there quite this early, but that's the hand we've been dealt.
Coach, another big game from Xavier Atkins, Robert Woodard. Just how valuable have those guys been this season individually for your team?
It's Robert's best game since we've been here, by far. And that's a kid that really struggled and contemplated. Do I need to move on back in the crazy portal world? And I tell you, I give a lot of credit to his father, who just spoke real truth to him. And he hung in here, and now he's worked his tail off to get better and better and played his best game. And X continues to play at a high level.
You back to the quarterbacks. Is the expectation for Jackson to start Saturday, or is it as simple as whoever has a better week of practice is going to get the starting nod?
I would say the expectation is for him to start. He's led us on 2 scoring drives to start the last 2 games, and hopefully that is what happens in this one also. But we'll go day to day. But that's the expectation.
For Jason, Dan.
You said after the Georgia game about having the belief on the sidelines, they're
Yeah.
going to pull it. Did you see a change or improvement in that, especially with the fourth quarter and overtime?
It did. I told the team this morning it was a definite different feel and energy, even after the drops and the missed field goals, and I just didn't see. I saw both sides trying to encourage one another, and I thought we took a big step in the right direction in that regard, and even the young men that weren't participating in the game, I thought were vital in helping do that. And so there was a lot of people picking up the guys that had some critical drops, and Alex obviously has plenty of encouragement. So I was pleased. I thought the energy on the sideline was good. It's always going to be a little different from offense to defense. Defensive guys there's a little more juice there. Offensively, you've got to have that energy, and when you're scoring and doing well, there's certainly more energy. After the I think the first drive, it was off the charts good. Jackson laid his body on the line to get us down to the goal line. We punched that in. The energy's really high. Then you have a few drops the next, really 3 possessions, and that kind of cost us some opportunities. And even then, I thought the energy was good. But it's certainly like you better get in there and start getting on the iPad and looking at the looks, and you don't have a whole lot of time to talk about much else, but you better figure out, all right, here's how they're playing us, and here's what we need to go to, and here's what we need to do next. But definitely thought that the energy on the sideline was really, really good.
We saw more Jordan Crawford the other night. I was seeing a lot of Elijah. He's making plays, but D-Boy, Eric Winters, there's a bunch of those guys that are playing key roles on defense. How much have you seen them grow since the beginning of camp, especially?
Yeah, those freshmen continue to grow, whether it's Woodby, Newboy, Winters, Autry, Crawford, Jared Smith, Diaz, Melendez, X, all these young kids that were playing over there are Star is going to be really good also. The future's bright with those guys. We've got a lot of good talent over there, and they're getting better and better week in, week out, it seems.
Dan?
Coach, what role does the play calling have in helping Jackson find something in the rhythm, and how much of it is on?
Yeah, well, we've I think we're calling things that he feels really good about. There are times on probably 3rd and longer that nobody feels real comfortable, about some of those. Particularly, I thought Missouri had 2 of the better defensive ends we faced. I think they're one of the more complete teams we've faced in all aspects, which again gives me hope that we're really, really close. So, but we're not carrying much that we don't think he can do. Other than maybe some 3rd and long deals, that it's not so much can he do them, it's can everybody hold up in time for us to get this completed, and if not, we probably need to take it out and let's try to get our guys a shorter route and see if they can't run for the first down or go for it on 4th.
Go Philip, Ferg, Mike, and Northwestern.
Anybody's been around has seen times when you start off the season, the defense is really good, the offense is struggling, and then you get late in the season and the defense kind of takes a step back too. Is there any concern about that right now?
I don't have any, other than we're facing one of the more talented offenses I've seen. I mean, I watched them this morning. They are really talented on offense. That guy's Green is playing at an extremely high level. Has a really good running back, tight ends, receivers, and is making those plays that are not designed plays at a high level. And Bobby does a really good job, coaching offense. And so, I don't expect our kids they're going to come and compete like they have every time. But I mean, this team's scoring a lot of points on some really good defenses. So it's a great challenge for us for sure, based on what I've seen on tape. But I don't think the expectation is that we'll play at a high level with great passion and execution. We still have things that we can get better at and clean up. We didn't, watching the tapes with the defense this morning and going over the good and the bad, we still don't cage the ball real well, leverage the ball real well at times, and it's usually our younger guys that we mentioned, but they're better than they were, and or play with the right leverage on a pass route on where your help is, and we need to improve that this week for sure and we got to stay in coverage when we're in coverage, because he will rip it over your head.
We saw Jeremiah bust a couple of runs to the outside. I know y'all talked about maybe trying to attack the perimeter more. Have you seen kind of more success with that? I guess here recently, is that something that they go and kind of expand with in the ground game?
Yeah, that really depends on kind of how they're playing you, but Jeremiah obviously has the talent and speed to do that. I thought he ran inside the tackles really well too the other night, and but yeah, we'll always try to mix that up if you know, Arkansas, again, you're kind of facing, I guess, a 2-game sample size on the defensive side. So you're trying to decide, you know, like, how much do you make of that? And in these 2 games, you know, they've played one style of football pretty much, and it doesn't tend to lend toward a whole lot of easy perimeter runs for sure, because it's a ton of man coverage, and they're playing with leverage over your tight end, or so we'll have to see how they're playing us. But that again, just in a 2-game sample, that tends to be a high percentage of who they want to be.
Coach, I know this is a wide receiver group you really like, but how do you explain the drops over the last few games and the timeliness of the drops?
Yeah.
And how do you get that addressed here?
Continue to get on the jugs. They'll be on them every day. It's really hard to explain, and that's, you know, as a coach, you know, there's some things that just set you off, and you want to you want to go off on kids at times, at quarterback or receiver, but it's really hard to do that to guys that you know care, and they have the capability of making those plays that change the game. And you know, it changes the season when they make those plays, and you just got to tell them, man, you got to play the next play. I've seen you do it 1,000 times, and you're very capable of doing, and try to encourage them. The things that you can be very, very hard on them about is route running, depth of it, technique, but don't think it's wise to really give it to them when they have a crucial drop. Just I haven't seen that work out, and I've coached receivers. That's how I started, and don't think that that's the ticket to you encourage them of what you know they can do and how you've seen them do it over and over again, and they'll bounce back from it typically.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks,
Thank you.